This is Data Jockey, machine learning for Victorian racing. Today I am looking at Race 5, Wangaratta, Sunday 23 August 2026. Straight into it. Right here is the quick summary for Race 5 at Wangaratta, and this is one worth paying attention to. Two selections from the model today. Paparazzo is the place selection. That is the top pick, the one the model is most confident about. And Miss Himalaya is in the same race multi as the top 4 selection. Not a standalone place selection, the same race multi only. So if you are short on time, there it is. Paparazzo for the place, same race multi combining both. But do yourself a favor and stay with us, because what the model is seeing in this race is genuinely interesting, and understanding it will help you make a more informed decision. Let us break it down. Race 5 at Wangaratta, 12 runners, top 3 paying the place dividend. The model's read here is interesting straight away. The favorite is not the top selection. That is the model telling you it sees value the market has missed. This is precisely the kind of scenario where the data and the crowd disagree, and that disagreement is where the value sits. 2 selections from the model for this race, a place pick, and a same race multi combining both. Remember, not every race makes the cut. The model only selects when the value is genuinely there, and today it is. On to the breakdown. Before I get into the picks, a quick word on how this works, because it is genuinely different to anything else you will find in the tipping space. The selections come from a machine learning model that continuously learns from Victorian racing results. Every single race meeting, every result, every finishing position feeds back into it. This is not a set-and-forget system. It is live, it is learning, and it gets sharper with every race run in Victoria. Now here is the part that really sets it apart. Most tipsters, most models out there are chasing the winner. I made a completely different call. This model was built from the ground up to find place finishers, horses that hit the top positions and pay a place dividend. That is a fundamentally different problem to finding the winner, and it demands a completely different approach. The model weighs up dozens of variables across the entire field at once. Things that interact with each other in ways that no human analyst could ever track manually. Pace, distance, field composition, historical patterns, how each horse matches up against these specific rivals on this specific day. All of it simultaneously. That is the power of building it this way. If you want to go deep on the methodology, how the model was actually built, what it looks at, how it was trained, the link is in the description below. Check it out when you get a chance. But for today, I have got race 5 to get through, and the model has some strong opinions. Let us get into the picks. Let us start with pick 1 for race 5. Paparazzo, the model's top selection, currently 3rd in the market. Not the favorite, nowhere near the headline of the betting market, just sitting at a price the model believes is significantly off. That is the whole story right there. A gap between what the market thinks and what the data is showing, and that gap is precisely what this model is built to find. Here is something worth being upfront about, because I think it builds trust rather than costing it. I cannot point to one tidy reason the model has landed on Paparazzo. That is not how it operates. It is not running on a single insight like track preference or distance record, the kind of single-factor reasoning that most form analysis relies on. Instead, it is working through dozens of variables at the same time. Track conditions, distance, field size, who else is in this race, historical patterns drawn from thousands of past Victorian races. All of it considered together, picking up on relationships a person scanning a form guide would simply never catch. That is the whole point of building it this way. If it could be boiled down to one sentence, there would be no need for a model at all. What matters is this. The market has Paparazzo sitting at 3rd in the market. The model has it ranked 1st for race 5. That difference is where the value sits, and finding exactly that kind of gap is what this model exists to do. It was built specifically around place finishers, not winners, so when it puts a horse at the top, it is saying this horse matches the pattern of horses that have historically finished in the places. A different way of looking at the problem entirely. Paparazzo for the place. Top 3 finish in a 12-runner field. That is the model's read on race 5. For entertainment purposes only, please make your own informed decision. before placing any bet. Pick 2, Miss Himalaya, currently 4th in the market. Now this one is a different kind of selection to pick 1, and it is worth understanding the distinction clearly. The model sees Miss Himalaya finishing in the top 4, but not necessarily in top 3. That is a crucial difference. The data does not support a standalone place selection here. It does support the same race multi as the top 4 selection. Now that might sound like a technicality, but in a 12-runner field it is meaningful. The top 3 pays a place dividend, 4th does not. So a place selection on Miss Himalaya on its own is not what the model is suggesting. The same race multi is where it fits. Think about what the model is actually saying about Miss Himalaya. It belongs in this race. It fits the profile of a horse that finishes in the top 4 in this field, but whether it gets into top 3, that is less certain. For the same race multi, top 4 is enough. Paparazzo top 3, Miss Himalaya top 4. That is the combination the model is pointing to for race 5. For race 5, the same race multi combines Paparazzo finishing top 3 with Miss Himalaya finishing in the top 4. Check your own wagering provider for whether this market is offered. Worth pausing on one point before moving on. These two bets are not equivalent, and they do not share the same probability of success. The standalone place selection on Paparazzo is the model's higher confidence read, a smaller return, but a meaningfully better chance of it actually landing, and that remains the model's central view for this race. The same race multi requires both legs to come through, Paparazzo in top 3, Miss Himalaya in the top 4, which reduces the overall probability but increases the potential payout if it does land. Taking both is optional, not required. Paparazzo alone carries the model's strongest signal. The multi is there for those drawn to the longer odds, higher return option. Either way, understand exactly what each bet needs before deciding. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please make your own informed decision. If you are following the full card today, all the race tips are in the playlist. One video per race, all uploaded before race 1. Have a look at the other races and see which of the model's selections are relevant to you. Some punters combine multiple selections into a place multi. Check your wagering provider for how that works. Always make your own informed decision before placing any bet. And this is important, always check for scratchings before you consider placing anything. Horses get scratched on race morning and it can completely change the picture. The model's place selection for race 5 is Paparazzo. Have a look at the playlist for the rest of the card. Subscribe if you have not already. I do this for every Victorian meeting, every race day, and it is completely free to follow along. Race 5 at Wangaratta, all wrapped up. The headline, Paparazzo for the place, and Paparazzo top 3 with Miss Himalaya top 4 as the same race multi if the longer odds option appeals to you. Every selection gets tracked publicly, with results posted weekly, no exceptions and no cherry-picking, win streaks or losing runs alike. That is the only honest way to judge this model over time, and it is on you to make that call. For entertainment purposes only, as always, please make your own informed decisions and gamble responsibly. See you next race.